So a lot of Naruto fans give Kishimoto, who is the writer of Naruto, slack for the excessive use of Naruto's favorite move, which isn't the Rasengan, but is instead Talk No Jutsu. Now, of course, it's kind of hard to really imagine a scenario in which super powerful mass murderers would listen to a 16-year-old kid trying to get them on the quote-unquote right path. However, if we look at the characters involved in and the context of the scenes where Talk No Jutsu is used, I actually don't think Naruto being able to persuade these villains to walk a different path is much of a plot hole, and in fact I actually think it's just amazing storytelling, and I'm going to tell you all why now. So I want to start off by talking about Pain. When Pain was introduced to the story, he was cold and calculated and was willing to do whatever it took to accomplish his goals. However, we have to keep in mind that Pain sought peace. Now, there were villains like Hidan, who simply just killed people because it aligned with his religious beliefs, and Kakuzu, who killed because he was just trying to get to that bag. However, again, Pain's actions were driven by a desire for peace, and if we keep this fact in mind, it makes sense that Naruto and him were able to have a conversation and come to understand one another's perspectives. At the end of the day, while Naruto and Nagato had certainly taken very different paths in their lives, they had the same end goal. And remember what the Infinite Tsukuyomi actually is. This was a jutsu that was thought to put everyone in a dream state where everyone could be at peace and there would be no hate in the world. Of course, by the end of Naruto Shippuden, we find out that it is actually a jutsu to harvest all the chakra and knowledge of everyone in the world into a fruit, so an Otsutsuki can eat it to acquire power, but originally, the Infinite Tsukuyomi was thought to be the former. To truly wish to bring about the Infinite Tsukuyomi, you have to be so far gone to the point where you literally see no value in your life. To give up on your reality and put yourself in a dream state forever, you will have to completely detach yourself from everything the reality you live in has to offer. And honestly, I don't believe Nagato was at that point. He had already experienced so much hardship, from watching his parents be killed in front of him as a child, to wandering the Hidden Rain village, which was essentially just a giant battleground with no home. And when he eventually had to watch Yahiko, his best friend, die in his arms after they tried to change the world in the quote-unquote right way, rightfully so, he gave up on his reality as a last resort and decided to carry out the Infinite Tsukuyomi. However, when Nagato saw Naruto give everything he had to eventually defeat him in their fight, Nagato gained a newfound sense of respect for this 16-year-old kid who he thought had no real sense of justice. Think about it. After Nagato lost Yahiko, he understood very well that merely being an idealist, which he once was himself, is all too often not enough to guide you through the pains the world has to offer when those ideals are tested. When Nagato enlightened Naruto about the cycle of hatred and his views on the shinobi world, it was evident in his body language that Naruto lost the will to fight. Because essentially, when confronted with a different perspective and a different quote-unquote truth, Naruto did not truly know what peace meant to himself anymore, and he did not truly feel that he was fighting for what was quote-unquote right anymore. However, Naruto overcame this loss of will to continue fighting and eventually defeated Pain. Now imagine how Nagato had to feel after suffering this defeat. This man just witnessed you destroy his entire village, killing several of his loved ones in the process. Watched you kill the one woman and one person in the village who would stand up to you when you tried to capture Naruto. And this man knows that you killed his sensei, the man who was like the father he never had to him. And he was able to will his way to victory, not because of hate, which you believe is the absolute rule of the world, the cycle of hate, love, birth, and hatred, but rather to protect what he loves and stand firm on his principles. Though Nagato had lived for 35 years, this was the very first time in his life that he had seen someone so strong. Someone who could break the cycle of hatred didn't exist in Nagato's mind. Still, here he was, watching this kid who just went through what would normally be perceived as one of the most heartbreaking, tragic experiences you could ever put anyone through, talking to him, trying to get him to believe in the idea that the world can change and not to give up on it. I don't think the average Naruto fan understands how powerful and poetic the ending of the Pain vs Naruto fight actually was. It was a nice joke, but simply calling this moment Naruto using Talk No Jutsu on Nagato is outrageous. Naruto reminded Nagato that change is never beyond us, no matter how far we've fallen, no matter how much we've been through, and that is why Nagato decided to believe in Naruto and cast Rinne Rebirth to bring everyone he killed back to life in the Hidden Leaf Village. Now let's move on from Naruto's fight against Pain and talk about his fight with Obito. Now, let's get this out of the way ahead of time. Under normal circumstances, there was no possible way Naruto would have been able to reason with Obito. There were many moments during the war where seeing Naruto's will to keep fighting for what Obito believed was a worthless world made him confused. Or that may not be the word that I'm looking for, but something along those lines. However, Obito's ideology was too far gone for Naruto to reach him as he did with Nagato, which Sasuke literally told Naruto during the war. While Nagato may not have believed the cycle of hatred could be broken, Obito literally didn't believe in the world itself. Obito viewed the world itself as an illusion, and that's how the once happy-go-lucky kid who loved his sensei, Minato, who loved Kushina, and who loved his clan was able to slaughter them all in cold blood. His speech to Kakashi was so poetic because it illustrates how such an idealistic, good kid like Obito could become a cold-blooded killer who terrorized the whole entire world. This man was so detached, he didn't even believe in his own existence. A world without the woman he loved, Rin, was nothing more than an illusion in Obito's eyes. So just as much as the infinite Tsukuyomi was perceived as a dream state to everyone else, Obito perceived his current reality as a dream state in itself, but rather a hellish one. So how was Naruto able to use Talk No Jutsu on Obito? Well, remember, when Obito became the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, he gained access to the sword of Nunoboko. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you say it, but that's what we gonna say. The strength of this weapon comes directly from the strength of one's willpower. In the final clash between Sasuke's Susanoo sword, Ant by Naruto and Kurama's chakra, and Obito's sword of Nunoboko, Obito's will was tested by this godly power, being the sword of Nunoboko, and feelings and emotions Obito had tucked away to the lowest depths of his heart were felt for the first time since he was a young boy. True strength is not ridding yourself of all feelings and all emotions, because no matter how far you tuck your feelings away inside of your heart, you'll never be able to actually kill them. True strength comes from accepting those feelings for what they are and continuing to walk the path you've chosen for yourself with no regrets. Obito's will crumbled because his will was grounded in the idea of emptiness, and no matter how much he convinced himself that he was empty and there was nothing in his heart, somewhere deep inside of him lay that same pain that came from the attachments he had to the world, specifically the attachment he had to Rin, and the dreams of the future he once had. Obito pushed those attachments, dreams, feelings, and emotions so far to the inner depths of his heart, he likely actually did feel completely empty, and he likely couldn't feel anything, just as he said. However, the power of the sword of Nunoboko drew all those things I just listed out of Obito, and he realized deep down that Naruto was right. For the first time since Obito was a kid, he felt alive again. He realized all along he could have been alive this whole time had he chosen to, but instead he ran from the pain and the sorrows of living and chose to be empty instead. When Naruto told Obito, "I swore I'd tear that mask right off your face," and remind him that he's Obito Uchiha, it was a much bigger moment than most Naruto fans saw it as. This was Naruto proving to Obito, someone who had gone so numb to everything that he didn't even believe in his own existence, that he was still alive, that Obito was still alive. And this speaks levels to Naruto's strength. You have to remember, this is the man who killed both his mother and his father the day he was born. the man who was responsible for killing many of his comrades, the man who literally started an entire worldwide war by himself that almost destroyed the world. And by the end of the war, Naruto was able to look at that man as a friend. And this is why I believe that quote unquote talk no jutsu is not a plot hole, and it's actually one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful things about the plot. Anyways, I appreciate it if you made it this far into the video. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me that, talk no jutsu is actually, a very good story point, or do you still think that it's just a bunch of plot holes? Let me know in the comment section, and I hope y'all have a good day. I appreciate y'all making it this far, and I'm gone.
Who is Bounty, and what can you expect from his channel? Bounty is a free-spirited individual, steadfast chasing his dream through every hardship and challenge he faces in the way of his final destination. You can expect to see epic gaming videos infused with unrivaled comedy like all of these videos right here. Insightful, professionally made anime recommendation and review videos like all of these. Comedic, high energy reaction videos, and from time to time, even explorative vlogs and IRL videos such as these. So click that subscribe button to become a part of the journey with Bounty. I shall hope to see you again in another video, my good friend. Until next time.